Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, the honorable judges and respectful audience. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Urdha and I'm from Semantiga, Kayuagung. And in this wonderful occasion, I would like to keep my speech, and under the theme is Building Moderate Minds and Green Awareness through Religious Education. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in an era filled with challenges issues such as climate change, pollution, intolerance, and radicalism. This increasingly concerning, right? And as the younger generation, we have responsibility to seek solution to these problems. But as a younger generation, how we do it? I believe the answer lies in holistic religious education. Religious education that's not only teach about rituals and dogma, but also about universal values such as compassion, justice, peace, and responsibility towards the environment. And this is in line in the Ayatul Al-A'raf in the 56th verse. وَلَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ بَعْدَ إِصْلَاحِهَا وَاعْبُدُوهُ خَوْفًا وَطَمَعًا إِنَّ رَحْمَةَ اللَّهِ قَرِيبٌ مِنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And do not cause corruption upon the earth after its reformation, and invoke Him in fear and aspiration. Indeed, the mercy of Allah is near to the doers of good. Ladies and gentlemen, this verse clearly states that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has reformed the earth, and humans are prohibited from causing corruption after its reformation. This indicates that the universe was essentially created in a good and balanced state, and humans have the responsibility to maintain it. Ladies and gentlemen, after we hear this ayat, the disaster that occurred in Indonesia can be used as an example. Why? As we know, Ladies and gentlemen, the disaster that occurred in Indonesia can be used as an example. Why? As we know, there was a flood disaster in Aceh, right? The intensity of the rain is not only cause environmental damage that has been going on for years, especially deforestation in upstream areas and degradation of river basins, or DAS, has also exacerbated the impact of flooding. The loss of forest cover means that the soil is no longer able to absorb water optimally, so that the surface flow increases drastically when it rains heavily. This condition is exacerbated by poor regional governance, such as changing land function without considering ecological aspect, inadequate drainage system, and accumulation of sediment in the rivers, which reduce water flow capacity. Seeing this condition, the threat of flooding in Aceh in the future is not expected to just recur, but it also has the potentials to be worse. And ladies and gentlemen, after hearing these issues, we think that So, what steps should we take? Ladies and gentlemen, as a young generation, we can do small starts, not to change on a large scale, but just to make it way better. For example, we can reduce waste accumulation, prevent flooding, and keep our surroundings clean by throwing garbage in its place and planting small trees or plants around our home. And to reduce this impact of plastic use, we can do small start too actually. For example, in the school, we actually often to buying some plastic drink, right? Like the bottle is from plastic, but actually we can use in other way. For example, this we can use bottle that we bring it from home or that actually viral in now. We can use tumbler. To use this bottle, we can reduce the impact of the plastic use. To make it some cuter, we can add some keychain or something like that, just to make it fun, and we can reduce it from this. So let's reduce the impact of plastic use and do small starts, such as plant some small trees and plants and throw a garbage in its place to reduce them. Okay, I think that's all from me. I apologize if there is a mistake. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.